So I think it's safe to say that I've played this game for just a little while now. And while there's many things that you learn while playing the game of Rocket League, there's only so many things that people can teach you, whether that be going for an air dribble, how to set it up, whether you're going to hit a flip reset. Beat the drip, by the way. Now keep in mind that I've probably watched countless hours of, Rocket League tutorials, how to hit a flip reset, how to air dribble, how to dribble the ball on top of your car. And, I took lots of advice from pros, from people that were GC ranked, and honestly, like most of them say, spend a lot of time in free play. So with this video, I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with it. The main goal of this is just to kind of give you another perspective from someone that can assure you 100% solo queued their way all the way to GC. At some points in this, I did play with maybe a random teammate partied up, once or twice. But there was no way that I had one friend or one partner that I played the whole way through to GC with. Everything that I learned and that I did, I adapted to every single teammate that I had and had to learn how to win in each different scenario and situation. We all know in the game of Rocket League that things are always changing, whether that be thinking that you should have a demo or, all kinds of things. So I'm going to try not to make this video too long. I just want to go over some of the main things that I learned that helped me get through each rank. So let's start with bronze to silver. Bronze to silver basically taught me that I need to learn to hit the ball. And I watched a lot of high-level gameplay on Twitch. Watching high-level gameplay on Twitch taught me how to position my car and how to move around the field, even hitting the ball, just being there in the position to hit the ball. It set me up to be more successful at my later ranks. Definitely was one of the main contributors to why I'm at the rank that I am now. Yes, I am barely GC. I'll probably lose it as soon as I play another rank game. That Champ 3 over GC hump was probably harder than me having to take, the ACT over again. So really, most people, and myself included, there's really not a whole lot of advice you can really give at the lower ranks of bronze and silver when you're playing Rocket League. It's really just more so play the game, try to hit the ball. Go into free play, and as soon as that ball spawns right here, you go and you hit that ball. You keep driving. Do not stop to wait for the ball. You keep driving. Look for the ball and bop it again. If you miss, turn around, bop it again. Just hit it. Go up the wall, hit it off the wall if you need to. You may not be able to jump off the wall yet. That's okay. You'll get there. Make sure that you're continually hitting the ball, because the more practice you get watching the physics of the ball move around the map and you hit it, that's going to continue. Everything you do is going to continue helping you set up for your later ranks. It's all a build-up process. If you guys ever had to learn a math skill, or any kind of English skill or a skill in school, thought was stupid at first, but it actually helped you build up to a later part where you had to learn something even more complicated. Kind of how Rocket League is. It's a huge pyramid scheme of learning one thing and then moving on and learning other things. Rocket League for me became so addicting because I learned that there was always a new mechanic I could perfect or I could work on. Even though I've technically hit the highest rank you can hit in the game, there's still so much to improve on. Rocket League goes by an MMR system, and it goes 1500 to get to GC, 1515 to be specific in twos, 1600, 1700, 1800, as high as you can go. Pros usually sit around high 1900 to 2000s and above, and that takes way more hours than I'll probably ever have. In the grand scheme of things, it gives me something to work towards. Rocket League is also a game to where I don't necessarily have to just focus on rank. If I want to, I can go into games and and just focus on hitting flip resets. It's not a big deal. I can go into casual, work on them. I can work on my dribbling. I can do all kinds of things. There's workshop maps. There's literally so many different ways for me to learn how to improve in this game, whether that be the speed map, how to dribble. And that's what keeps Rocket League so refreshing for me and makes me come back. All of my friends always ask me how I can play this game for so long. And it's just all the different ways that I can learn to improve in the game and make myself better. I can't tell you how many times I've just started off replay, hit the ball off that back wall, and popped it into the goal. But then some days I'll come in and I'll work on other variable mechanics in free play. The main reason that I pick free play for this is because it is the most realistic situation I can get without being in an actual game. There's no bars held back here, and I can learn and practice any mechanic I want. Moving on, let's go to gold. So at a certain point in gold, let's say that you have a pretty decent time hitting the ball on the ground. You might actually see some people starting to learn how to just do simple aerials, just jumping up in the air and boosting towards the ball. This is definitely something that becomes very valuable and will continue to help you build towards the grand scheme of things at the end. Gold for me, I was definitely working on hitting aerials, but was nowhere near consistent with them. Every now and again I would hit one, but it would really have no meaning to it. I would just kind of let the ball hit up in the air and I would just fly at it and maybe hit it, maybe I wouldn't. Other than that, the most important thing I think I would learn in gold is maybe to try and learn how to dribble the ball on top of your car, as well as just being able to get around the field and just go for power ground shots, hitting the ball as hard as you can while you're on the ground, boosting into that and just smacking that son of a gun like it's the Last Supper. Really, gold was just kind of it wasn't really a long period for me. I kind of moved up really quick. I started realizing a little bit of a plateau when I started getting to platinum. The platinum for me was kind of a rank to where you started seeing people that definitely you knew could be in diamond, didn't put in, enough rank games or didn't care enough about it. You saw aerials. Sometimes they were consistent, sometimes they weren't. Sometimes they were very simple. Sometimes people hit the ball with purpose, sometimes they didn't. Ground game got a little bit better. Everything just slowly kind of improved. People were getting ready to enter Grand Diamond, basically, was the point of the story, and everybody was the best in the game. Squishy literally had nothing on anyone. I got up to Plat 3 pretty quick, but I started plateauing a lot because I couldn't get past that diamond hump. People were starting aerial really fast. They were getting up to the ball faster. They were hitting it more consistent. People were almost hitting air dribbles, just hitting them off the wall and going for it, and being able to just get as high as they could up in the air as fast as they could, and hitting the ball way before I could. And really, the only limitation that I had was the one that I had set in my mind. Once I'd put in probably a good 500 hours, I finally made it into Diamond 1. And I felt like I was on top of the world. I basically felt like a grand champ at that point. Little did I know that I was only just beginning the grind. It seemed that even in casual games now, in Diamond, everybody started taking the game much more serious. The games were fast-paced, they were quick decision-making, and you had to learn to adapt very quick. Diamond was probably my longest period in this game. I spent probably more than likely over 600 to 700 hours just in Diamond alone, trying to get over the champ hump. Main things that I worked on in Diamond was being able to go off the wall quick and being able to dribble the ball in the air. I worked for hours and hours and hours just focusing on air dribbles, trying to perfect my craft as good as I could, because I knew that if I air dribbled, everybody had such a decent ground game, I really didn't stand much of a chance, and I had to do something different. So I worked on air dribbles, I got better, and I learned how to flick the ball at Diamond. That was one of the most useful skills I had learned in Diamond, definitely, was being able to flick the ball. And I definitely recommend that if you don't already, you add this to your arsenal. Whether that just be the front flip or it being my favorite flick, the 180 side flick, where basically you just take the ball, you put it on top of your car, you balance it out, you try to get it near the front hood of your car, that way that it's a nice and simple balance. You turn to the side and you flick backwards or at a diagonal angle to be able to flick the ball with high velocity and more power. Once I worked on these skills a lot, I was able to push up into Champ 1. I didn't keep it very long, and I usually went straight back down to Diamond 3. It was kind of like I was in this plateau to where I was pretty decent, maybe just a tad bit smarter than the people in Diamond 3. I knew what they were going to do with the ball when they went to hit it, and so I would try to plan ahead. But once I got into Champ, the games were just too fast, and people were still smarter than me. I felt like I was stuck in the middle. Little did I know, this really just took me playing the game a lot more and learning and watching more high-tier gameplay, just to learn that the only way that I was really going to get up there was to be able to analyze my opponents while I was playing and try to predict what they were going to do. So let's say that the opponent is, if you see them going up the wall like this, you know they're about to go for an air dribble. So in that case, that would lead me to either try and cut them off at the ball, or I can meet them in the air if I wanted. Of course, if I had a teammate that was back. If I didn't have a teammate back, or my teammate was already up, or probably off in La La Land over here, and an opponent is reaching the goal right over here, then I know that I needed to learn, and this is one of the most important things that I've ever learned. I learned how to go back post. Now, I don't know how many of you actually know about back post, but it is definitely one of the most important things in Rocket League. Literally, more important than your check, more important than your life, more important than, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband. I don't care who you are. Literally, if you're going to be a Rocket League god, you got to learn back post. Why is back post so important? Well, let me tell you something. If you want to stop a goal, you see how much easier I can cover this way than just being able to get right here and playing the natural silver goalkeeper move where I do this, or I have to do this. I forgot that silvers are professionals. Do the squishy save. There's so much more to Rocket League than you think. You don't realize all the small mechanical things that you must do in order to prepare yourself for the next save or the next shot. One back post has probably saved me more goals trying to play with people that were lower ranked than anything in the world. Being here in this position when people are air dribbling, you know, doing their 180 kickflip 360 no scopes in Rocket League, that has probably saved me more goals than anything else. So always remember, go the freak back post, pleb. Thank you. This has been my TED Talk. At this point, I've made it to Champ 1. My air dribbles have gotten better. Every once in a very blue moon can hit a flip reset, and my flicks were getting a little bit more talented. I was basically a grand champ at this point until I started playing Champ 2s and Champ 3s. Champ 1 honestly felt more like a Diamond 3 level, but there was very little change, honestly. Once I got into Champ 2, I really had to start stepping up my game to be able to compete at this level. People were getting a lot better. It wasn't really more so about who could just be the most mechanically consistent at this point. It was really just about, had you learned how to save the ball if it was flying off at the back wall? Could you fly backwards? That was one of the main things that I needed to learn and that I still work on today. It also just really boiled down to mind games. Not necessarily a fake, but just being able to predict what was going to happen and trying to plan ahead for it. Hitting your shots more consistently. Everything in the lower ranks is just based on consistently doing something. And really at Champ 1 and Champ 2 for me, it was kind of the same thing, but just with power. Hit everything with power and hit it at the net. And eventually, your opponents are going to break. Mechanical skill and willpower do not surpass you. Always remember that, you alpha. After spending another couple hundred hours in the Champ 1, Champ 2 range, I made it to Champ 3, right over the hump. Literally almost there. I'm almost the highest rank in the game. What am I going to do with myself? I kept getting better. My air dribbles got better. My flip resets still suck. My dribbles were getting better. My flicks still suck. But at the end of the day, I was still improving, and I had to keep that mindset. My ranked games were garbage. I was garbage. I felt like my life was completed, depleted, and I never thought I would get over the hump. It took me forever and ever and ever, and an up and down cycle, and ever, and an up and down cycle, and constant hours of watching pro gameplay. Another couple hours of using Gamer Grip by Scuff just to make sure my hands didn't sweat to the point to where I couldn't even use the controller to play the game, and ever. Lots of G Fuel, countless hours of not sleeping, analyzing YouTube gameplay, selling my house, and just buying a huge PC for no reason, even though Rocket League's easy to run, just because I wanted to and I had to be a pro. Using a 240 Hz monitor for a car soccer game. Finally, usually just playing naked. Playing naked helped me a lot. So like I showed at the beginning of the video, I have almost 1,500 hours into the game. That 1,500 hours was never just spent me just getting online and playing the game. If it was that simple, I would probably still be a lower rank. Really, I probably have over 2,000 hours in Rocket League. Not necessarily in gameplay, but in watching YouTube videos, watching pro gameplay, and then playing myself. Getting GC meant a whole lot more to me than just being able to log on and practice my mechanics. It took lots of strategy and lots of decision making and planning. You never thought that a game where you just took your car, drive it up the wall, and hit the ball meant so much, but once you break it down and you get to the higher ranks, you understand how it really works and how much more thought has to really be put into this game. And that if you try to just play like a brain dead monkey, you're probably not going to be able to rank up much. So here we are. I've hit Grand Champ. All I have now is to get faster, just like all the other ranks, get more consistent, and also go back post. Till next time, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Appreciate you if you made it this far. I apologize that it was a little bit scuffed. That is going to do it for this video, guys. If you do have any questions, I do stream every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And every Sunday, we do host a community tournament night on Rocket League where I get to showcase you guys that come and watch the streams. And also, we learn, we have fun content, ideas, all that good stuff. So if you're interested and you enjoy watching Twitch streams, please be sure to drop by www.twitch.tv/Dabs. I will have a link in the description. And as always, I hope that you remember you're an alpha, you're beautiful, and you deserve to hit GC and go back post.